Hi guys, welcome to M&D Made Simple. I'm your host, Coach Alexander. I'm so glad that you've joined me at this YouTube channel. If you're here for the very first time, don't forget to subscribe to this channel so that you get all the latest updates that you want to learn in monitoring and evaluation. So today we're going to be looking at monitoring and evaluation written test questions and answers. This is episode 6. I hope you've been following through because I give free tutorials occasionally on how to actually solve questions in M&D. For those of you who are here for the first time, if you've never heard of me, I am Coach Alexander. I have over 10 years experience doing what I do. I enjoy every bit about it. And something I hold dearly. Okay, let me explain this. This is the 6-month coaching program. So we've already started enrolling. People have already started paying. People have already actually started learning. Some have already started learning, but it isn't too late for you to enroll. My earnest appeal, guys, if you are so interested, if you want to build capacity, if you want to be the best M&D professional that you have ever dreamt of becoming, please enroll in this program. Write to me today. We set you up for a program that's going to change your entire life. And of course, there are these t-shirts and face masks. Please support this channel by buying these branded items. We've got also the ebooks, which you can download for free. They're in the description. And we also have how to set up an M&D system step by step. Okay, so that's not the thank you, but let's go straight now to the question. Okay, welcome back. So you see, guys, I gave this test on the 26th of March this year to a couple of our students who were doing the one-on-one coaching program. So I thought maybe we could talk about some of the questions. I won't look at all the questions, but we'll look at some and try to discuss how you should have answered them. So now I think question 1, I won't talk about it. It talks about the M&D readiness assessment. But let's talk about question 2. What is a data collection tool? So if you've noticed, this data collection tool is worth 2 marks, okay? This is the first question of question 2. So now when you see a question that is worth 2 marks, you don't need to write extensively, okay? It's not really necessary because all they are asking is just a basic explanation. So the way I would answer this is simple as possible, okay? So maybe let me just type something, and I won't do the typing on all the questions, but because I know this is something I can easily answer, I would say that a data collection tool is an instrument for the gathering of data. Okay, so a data collection tool is actually an instrument for the gathering of data. Okay, so this is really basic, and even if you explain it this simply, I can give you the 2 marks. Okay, because basically the keywords is it's an instrument, and a tool is an instrument. It's usually not advisable for you to repeat the same word again. So what I'm saying is, you say a data collection tool is a tool. No, you have to use a different word. Then the next question is worth 5 marks. Again, this one is, well, it's brief, but you need to put in a bit of some meat. What is the difference between testing the tool as a developer and pilot testing? Okay, so usually it works very well if this is worth 5 marks and it's asking for differences. You give 5 pointers, okay? So this is the first point, all right? We are just imagining things. You type, second point you type, okay, like that. So until there are 5. So much that each of the points you give should be worth 1 mark. Now let me tell you something about the difference between testing and pilot testing a data collection tool. As a developer, when you develop the tool, you have to check that it is actually agreeable to the indicators that you want to collect. And this is usually this is done without having to go in the field. You do it in your office, you do it while seated. Okay. Or you can do it while standing, but simply put, you're looking at different documents, looking at the tool you've developed, and then seeing whether it is agreeable. So that is what it means when you say testing the tool. But when it comes to now pilot testing, this is what requires you to go in the field and actually gather data from the respondents. And the reason why they do that is because they want to ensure that, one, the tool is actually fulfilling its intended purpose. It's easy to understand, and then it should also be collecting the data the right way. It should collect all that data. So that is why the pilot testing is done. If there are errors that are seen when you go in the field, after you do the field work, you come back, you correct those errors. Okay, so this is one of my favorite questions. Briefly describe the process of developing a data collection tool. So a data collection tool it has a process. And I've seen many times what people may do is they'll go and get a tool that has been developed already on the internet. Wow, that is okay. I have to admit, I have to urge you guys that you need to do it yourself. You need to contextualize it to your own needs. So the first thing is to do a desk review. What is it you want to collect? The second thing is that you need to ask yourself, for each of the indicators in the logical framework, which indicator is a quantitative indicator? Which one is a qualitative indicator? And then you also ask yourself, what method do I use to collect these indicators? Now, there are different methods you can use. You can use focus group discussions, you can use questionnaires, observations, and the list goes on. So once you identify these things, then afterwards you develop the tool. After developing the tool, the next stage is to test the tool. After testing the tool, then you pilot test the tool. So that is how you do this. That's the process. Now let's go to question 3. You and an M&D manager use the following table below to answer the following questions. So now, as you can see, there's something you need to understand, okay, guys? There's what is known as data quality audits. Data quality audits are done in order to ensure that your data is of the highest standard, okay? And this is done because you want to ensure that you basically want to ensure that whatever you have is authentic, it's reliable, it's trustworthy, and because of that, you're able to make good decisions. So now it answers the question here says construct a table and calculate variance for all months. So calculation of variance is it's a calculation that tells you the degree of quality of your data. Okay, I'm just putting it in simplest form. But anyway, the formula of calculating variance is as follows. Let me type it here. Variance is equal to, okay, so you've got the variance, which is equal to the verified data. If I have it correctly, I hope I haven't forgotten. Verified data minus reported data, okay, over the verified data. Okay, so the whole point, then it goes on to say times 100. Okay, so the thing is that I hope I've gotten this correct. Is it the verified data and blah 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 blah? Let's see. Okay, I'll counter check this, but this is how it is really. So the thing is that the variance, if it is plus or minus 5%, then what that means is that your okay. So actually, sorry about that. Now I've now remembered. Sorry about this, guys. It's not verified data, but it's the reported data. Sometimes I get confused, especially when you're doing a lot of work. Okay. So the reported data minus verified data, okay, over the verified data times 100. So the good percentage for variance should be plus or minus 5%. Anything above this means that the data is full of errors, wasn't done the right way. So the expectation when you do a question like this, you construct this same table, except that in the you put variance for the verified data by field staff, and you put variance for the verified data by the manager. Okay, so you put variance, we'll put variance as V there, and then variance as V as well for the manager. So in essence, what we are saying is that if we want to calculate the variance for the field staff, all you do is say 466 minus 460 over 460 times 100. Okay, that is what you do. So I'm sorry it hasn't come out very well here, but I'm sure in future I'm going to have the equipment that will allow me to do better presentations using the whiteboard. But this is basically how you do it. So whatever value you find here, if it's within this range of positive to negative 5%, then the data is okay. It's usable, it's of standard quality. And then there are few errors, of course. But if it is greater than that, then it means that the data is going to raise questions. So the reason why they do this is that we want to ensure that whatever we are reporting to donors is consistent with what is actually on the ground, because sometimes field staff may make a lot of errors and it can create a bit of some problems. Okay, so guys, the questions that follow, I think maybe you can find time to answer the questions yourself. I'll upload this question I'll upload it on the usual portal for you to download. The link is in the description below. So I'm so happy that you joined me today. Until we meet again, see you on the other side.